All right, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, and orientations, welcome back to the most exciting YouTube broadcast in the history of YouTube. You've got the Radical Independent. That would be me. Me. I'm Dave. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for donating to the channel, subscribing. Yesterday I had like 4 videos get demonetized, and it's just going to continue, folks. So if you can help me out via PayPal or Patreon, I hate to even beg for money. I hate being PBS. You know, and you're thinking, well, at least PBS is going to show me a concert or something, Dave. It's kind of lame. You don't have any entertainment for me? No, it's just me. Just me talking about Tulsi Gabbard. And yesterday was a very big day for Tulsi Gabbard on 2 fronts because, number one, she qualified for the November debate, and she's actually fairly close to qualifying for the December debate. And as far as the financial aspect of that deal goes, it's amazing the hoops that the DNC requires you to jump through. Some interesting things are starting to happen in neo-progressive land, and I'll talk about that in another video probably. Yesterday, though, Joy Behar got destroyed. She got destroyed. And again, I was so embarrassed. I kept saying in this video I did, I'm just really embarrassed for my country. All right. And someone said, well, you've got the TV show Friends. And I'm like, yeah, I like Friends, so it didn't work for me. I'm a Friends fan. Sorry. You know, child of the 80s, getting into the 90s. Actually, I didn't really discover Friends until afterwards. And, you know, it's goofy. But you know what? We need some goofy because the world is just filled with, you know, angst and turmoil and progressives standing up on their soapboxes and declaring that they're going to burn the thing down and so forth. And I'm sitting here going, you know, this isn't Gandhi. This isn't Martin Luther King. This is none of those things. This is just, you know, we're going to do by any means necessary. No. How about you do it using the democratic process? And if the democratic process is rigged, then you unrig it. So anyway, this from, I believe, Fox. Tulsi Gabbard confronts Joy Behar over useful idiot label. And, you know, watching Joy Behar try to sort of justify, and she's sitting right next to Gabbard, who just destroys, annihilates, eviscerates. I'm trying to think of really good, powerful words to use. I'm not a wordsmith, and I don't try to play one here on YouTube, but all of these things occurred during this exchange. And, by the way, Tulsi was able to manage the aloha aspect of her appearance because she smiled a lot. She looked great. And, again, people have criticized me for saying that she looks great and so forth, and I'm just wondering why that is. I mean, you can't, Dave, we're gonna confirm now that we're all in the Tulsi cult and we love Tulsi because of what she looks like. No, that's not it. I began to support Tulsi Gabbard because I realized she was the best candidate running. And by the way, those attributes help Tulsi Gabbard. All right, they're gonna help her. They're not gonna help Elizabeth Warren. She doesn't have those same characteristics. Okay. Unfortunately for Bernie Sanders, not going to help him. And by the way, there are a lot of Bernie people now that are really starting to get concerned about Tulsi Gabbard, and it's interesting to watch. Abby Martin saying some stuff that is just like, hey, why is she running? She's been running for a long time, Abby, and she declared her candidacy before Bernie jumped in. Okay, so a couple of facts here. And who's to say at the end of it all, if Tulsi doesn't cross the finish line by herself, and it's Bernie, that Tulsi isn't the one at the convention to say, you know what, I endorse Bernie Sanders. And I don't know if that's going to happen. It is a likely scenario if it plays out the way a lot of the Bernie people think it will. I'm starting to wonder if both Bernie and Tulsi, and then maybe even Andrew Yang, start to become like the 1, 2, and 3 candidates in this race. It's a theory. By the time you get to Iowa, New Hampshire, look, things change a lot in just 90 days, 100 days? So Tulsi Gabbard and Joy Behar have heated exchange over useful idiot label and Hillary's Russian asset claim. I mean, this was Tulsi Gabbard saying, I'm going right in. This is her military side. Just going to go right in. We're going to take no prisoners. We're going to clear my name. We're going to get in. We're going to get out. We're going to do our mission, and we're going to get out. This is her foreign policy on display here on The View. She's not planning on, occupying The View or staying too long on The View. She's going to pull her troops out of The View when it's time. She's not going to remain there for endless war with Joy Behar because, look, it was kind of like shock and awe. She went in, did what she needed to do, and now I think she's loved by people who, look, I'm not going to, and if you think that it's a bad thing to get Trump supporters and people on the right looking at Tulsi Gabbard, you're insane. You just want your little box, your little microcosm that you live in, and if anybody comes in from the outside and disrupts your pattern of thinking, oh no. Look, Tulsi Gabbard, she's got her own lane. I explained this a little bit on Twitter. It's not Bernie's lane. It's certainly not Warren's lane. And, is she going to rely on independents and maybe some libertarians and Republicans getting out there voting in these state primaries where they're able to do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. And good for her. The fact that she is general election ready. Okay, not General Electric ready, but general election ready. Right now should scare a lot of the typical political pundits on both the left and the right. So she goes right in. She says, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot. I think the term that you used. Gabbard told Behar. Behar, well, useful. Apparently trying to excuse her description. But that's a Russian term. They use that. Okay. No, it's not. Russians don't say, hey, they're all useful idiots. I mean, the term is kind of widely... See, this level of stupidity, backpedaling, trying to obfuscate what you said, it's like you guys probably thought, no way is she going to come on this show. And she just stood... I don't remember a political figure standing just right there, toe-to-toe, and standing up for... And, by the way, Whoopi asked some stupid question about something that went on with quid pro quo. She couldn't even say quid pro quo. Basically, she's stumbling over words. I mean, again, I would advise Whoopi Goldberg, don't drink before, going live on The View. Just a suggestion. It helped some people, didn't help Whoopi. But Tulsi nicely said, let's talk about some facts. She said she did a great job. Facts are important. Because all they want to talk about is impeachment. Impeachment, because Donald Trump is a threat to the entire globe. And rather than replacing Donald Trump with somebody who's going to change course, these people will ignore all of that. They'll keep talking about stupid tribal crap that nobody cares about. And then at the end of it all, you'll get Joe Biden. And people will go, oh, well, how come our economy is tanking? How come, we're still fighting all these endless wars? Biden will go and meet with all the generals and he'll say, okay, boys, whatever you guys want. I've known you guys for, 40, 50 years. We're all buddies. Just go do what you want to do. And I'm sorry, Donald Trump, whether you like him or hate him, I mean, I dislike him. I don't hate him, but I dislike him. I would say that his foreign policy instincts are better. And obviously they're trying to compare, well, you're an isolationist like Donald Trump, that evil Donald Trump. I mean, when did anti-war become so despicable? Is it because we run our whole country? I mean, again, she went on there and said, the Democrats used to be the party of peace. And they used to be. So you have nowhere to go for peace. You can go to the Green Party, and then you get Howie Hawkins, the guy who believes that the Russian hoax is a real thing. And I don't know if he's a mole. I don't, that's another video. So anyway, again, the talk about Franklin Graham and Richard Spencer, and most Americans don't know who the heck Richard Spencer is. Okay? The fact that you have to explain to Americans who this guy is, alleged, I don't know, he's a white supremacist. I have no idea. White nationalist. Okay? Franklin Graham people know, and like I said in the video yesterday, yeah, you should know Franklin Graham because he's cleaning up the Bahamas. Our country isn't doing anything, and they are. Samaritan's Purse. And again, you don't have to like the theology, all right? But when people are doing good things on behalf of other human beings, that should be lauded. It should be looked at as a positive. But again, we can't have those conversations anymore because it's black and white, black and white. So, Gabbard laughed and responded, "This is why I'm here, because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am." I can relate to this. You know, I'm on Twitter, and somebody's calling me out, and they think they know who I am. They just think, you know, hey, you sent out a tweet. We know what you're all about. Yeah? Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a husband. All right? I'm a father. And then I have this little thing that I do on 2 YouTube channels. I love music. There are a lot of aspects to me that people don't know. They don't know me. If they went out and hung out with me, hopefully they would like me. Hopefully I would make a few people laugh during that time period. But that's not my main goal in life or anything. It's just weird how people assume they know you, though. She went on to accuse Behar of doubling down on baseless accusations that former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton did make. See, this is crap reporting. And this is Fox, by the way. Clinton previously claimed that Gabbard was being groomed by the Russians to be a third-party candidate and was an asset of the Kremlin. Well, at least they got that right. And of course, she goes on to talk about how she's a soldier. The one exchange that was very weird is that when Gabbard looked back at Behar, and Behar was talking about Hillary Clinton's warmongering and how that was really bad that Tulsi said that and so forth, and then she had no idea what Clinton's foreign policy is. All she knows is Hillary Clinton is a New York transplanted, New York elitist, and she's a woman, and she's like Behar's age. And to Joy Behar, that's the most important thing. It's not about really what you stand for. You know, and the fact that Gabbard is there opposing all of this and saying, look, I'm the future. I'm trying to make my vision the vision of the Democratic Party. That's why I'm here. So it's a fascinating thing to watch as Tulsi Gabbard continues to rise in the polls. Tulsi Gabbard continues to qualify for debates. Now you're getting blowback from a lot of Bernie people who are worried. They know that Tulsi Gabbard is a better candidate than Bernie Sanders is right now. They know it. Bernie has the infrastructure and the money coming in. There's no question about it. I'm not even going to argue that point. But if you look at policy, okay, and I know Tulsi Gabbard does not spend enough time on domestic policy, and if I were advising her, I would say, hey, look, you certainly continue to go on regime change war and your big ticket issue, but also inform people on Medicare for all, for the $15 wage. All of these things need to be talked about because there are a lot of burners who just think, hey, Tulsi, she doesn't really care about domestic policy. And, you know, as one video I watched articulated very well, is that Tulsi has a bill for that. You know what I mean? If you have an idea, Tulsi probably has submitted a bill in the House of Representatives. Okay? She serves in Congress, and she doesn't just sit there. She actually authors legislation. Some of it doesn't go anywhere. Some of it does and needs to. And I think Tulsi Gabbard should be commended for that. A lot of Bernie people don't understand Tulsi's domestic agenda. A lot of Americans may be a little fuzzy on it. A great website, by the way, to go to learn more about Tulsi Gabbard is not just her Tulsi 2020 website, tulsigabbard.org. tulsigabbard.org. Every position she has, every policy is on that website, and I've heard even Tulsi reference the site. So good for her for doing that, for just directing people to where they can get more information. As far as this campaign goes, folks, it's on the rise. I know people are gonna, there's so many skeptical people about Tulsi Gabbard, but like I keep saying, she's better than you and I, and she's proving it that she's better than you and I. And when I say that, this isn't cultic. This isn't any of that. This is me as a human being making an observation about another human being and saying, you know what? We should all aspire to be more like Tulsi Gabbard, whether it's through, our physical health or being really knowledgeable on a whole host of issues, having a great sort of humble personality, as somebody who is, just a regular person who's sincere, okay, and who does not traffic in fakery. All right, this is the least fake candidate I've ever seen running for anything. All right, and I mean that. And if that's me living in a cult, sorry, I apologize. I don't know. I want to live as an American. I don't want to live in a cult. And Tulsi Gabbard reminds me of what could be great about this country. And I'm sorry I use that language because I know it offends a lot of people. We could truly make America, just and moral and righteous and decent and honorable again, without, the three-ring circus that we have now in the Oval, Barnum and Bailey circus. That's what we've had, and a lot of people took a risk on that, and I understand why they did. Look at the Democratic Party. Look at how just corrupt it is, and look at all the neoliberals and neo-progressives that are pretending to want to help you and I. I don't buy it. And if Tulsi doesn't succeed, this is going to be an interesting election if she doesn't succeed, because the choices for peace are very limited. Even with Bernie, if Bernie were to make it, I have worries, and someone would have to sit me down with Bernie and say, hey, Bernie, why are you running? Are you really going to work at getting us out of all these conflicts? Because you have a lot of great proposals, and we need that money coming home, and you can't do both. You can't have a bloated military and an escalation every year in the military budget while people are starving on the streets in major cities in this country. You can't keep doing that. It's a cause and effect thing. All right, I've babbled too long. This is why I'm not in, regular media, because I babble a lot and I don't say very much, but I appreciate people who think I do. Thanks for watching, and look out, this video is going to get demonetized. I need your help. See you soon.